What's up, stars? It's your girl Ivy Star coming to you with Ratchet Astrology video. If I can get the word out, because that's what I'm here to do. Get the word out. Yeah. So I got so much going on, but the best way to express it is through our own creativity, our own ways of learning things, and our own ways of understanding. So that's why I call it Ratchet Astrology. Not necessarily because it's like ratchet. It's not like I'm on here portraying any type of stereotypes that go along with that word. I won't make any descriptions because, you know, everybody has a different definition of what they might consider ratchet. It's called Ratchet Astrology because I'm not going to try to hold back anything. I'm not going to try to change the way that I talk. When I get ready to sit down and do a video, you know, this is my appearance for the day. I'm just not in a space for all that, the extra theatrics. Maybe I'll get there where I can be more aesthetically pleasing to some, you know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm in a transitional phase myself. So when I make these videos, this is because I'm going through my own transitions and I'm helping myself express it by expressing it to other people where maybe you're going through the same experience. Maybe you've been through the experience. Maybe you can't relate at all. Maybe you just here just to see what this is because, you know, you might not like it and you need something to disprove. I don't care either way. This is what I'm going with today. So we throw on us a nice lace and get to the place in space where we can talk about the planets, because that's what it's really about, the planets and the energy that is, you know, helping keep this float and rock with all the gases and airs it needs for us living on it to continue to thrive, even though for whatever reason old white people want to blow it up. Ooh, I won't talk about that. Full moons are like very enlightening. I'll put it like that, very illuminating. You see things for what they are under a full moon, and that's why they always, you know, associate people acting weird, acting crazy with full moons, because really it's kind of true, because everything is illuminated. You got to understand that's the big night light in the sky, so everybody is under that same energy where whatever is going on, whatever needs to be highlighted, whatever needs to be fixed, whatever is doing really well, because full moon is also a time to celebrate. That's why they because they didn't have phones and stuff back then, y'all. They used the moon and the stars and the placements of the planets and stuff to figure out what was going on with the weather, with nature, when to grow food, when to travel. That is what they used, okay? They didn't have phones. They didn't have GPS systems. That was the GPS system, that stuff up there. So full moons during these times without technology, that's what we'll call them. I'm not going to put a year on it. I'm not that deep into it. But I'll just say a time when they didn't have technology. That's when they really got into the stars and stuff like that. That's why we have the Farmer's Almanac. I try to pick one up every year. It's really a good tool to have. Not for just astrology purposes, but if you want to grow food, if you want to know about the weather, if you got to know what's going on around you. Staying in tune with nature, I feel like keeps us, you know, grounded. And making sure that everything that you are working towards, your feet are firmly planted in it, okay? Because what happens is when the reality of bills and the reality of war and famine and adulting and your spirituality, should I go to church? Should I be a Muslim? Should I be this? Should I be that? What is the real truth? Because we're all searching for those answers, because we are constantly being thrown into crisis mode. If you live in America, I can't speak for any other cultural experience except for Black American. That's who I am. I'm a Black American. That's who I've been all my life. I'm good with it. But when you're living this cultural experience, we're constantly being thrown into crisis mode. We're born in survival mode. Some are not. And let me just say this, because when we start talking about the lines of poverty and struggle, that's when we start talking about income and race. And let's not think that all black people are poor. Okay? A lot of us are not only not poor, sometimes they might be just poor minded, like the choices and the things that they flock to and go to may not always be the best choice, but it's in our DNA to have things or want things. You've worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. It's the spirit of your ancestors to want something. Okay, we've been working here a long time. We've been here a long time. So, you know, I'm good with being a black American, but the black American experience can really do something to your mental health. Okay, if you're not careful. Because especially I feel like when you're a mother or a parent, it's because you're constantly trying to snatch your kids back, because they already have these set notions, especially when you're born into poverty and born into struggle. They already got these set notions of what they want your kids to be and what they're going to be for them. They're going to be for them somebody for one of theirs to chase in the future, in this cat and mouse game of the legal system. I'm not blaming everything on the legal system. As parents, we got to learn how to come together too. And this right here has everything to do with Saturn retrograde. Saturn is the planet of discipline. Saturn is the planet of karma, change, shifting gears, making sure that shit is on task. Okay? Saturn is that planet. And that's what we associate Saturn with. And a lot of times the lessons that we learn through Saturn, they do not feel good. It's not like, let me take you and show you something, like a little scared straight experience. No, it's you getting thrown into the experience. Like how people say that the way that they teach kids how to swim is by throwing them in the pool. Yeah, that type of... Now imagine getting thrown in the pool and your biggest fear is drowning. That's the type of lesson Saturn comes to teach sometimes. Through pain. Is it going to hurt you? Yes. Are you going to grow? Yes. You think so? If you know anything about flowers or plants or anything, those are living specimens, right? But flowers have to be pruned. Do you think somebody coming through with some weird looking shears cutting on your stems and stuff feels good? No. But for some reason, when you prune and take care of it like that, it just begins to bloom and it grows. Because it's being taken care of. It's cutting off the dead parts. It's cutting off the dead weight. It's cutting off the dead ideas. It's cutting off the dead things that you thought that you had plans to work out that didn't work out. Because God had other plans. Whoever your God is. Whoever the person that you pray to when you're in trouble. Whoever the spirit or the entity that you live amongst. That you feel surround you and helps you make decisions. All of that is really within you. So you create the image of what it is that you serve. But one thing I know that I pull from the Christian Bible, because that was my first school of thought, is that we can't serve two masters. You can't. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. You can't be lukewarm when it comes to anything. Not just your spirituality. Know what you stand for. And know just what you know. And then understand that everything that you don't know is left up to your creator. That's really what the basis is. We don't know how we got here. This is the never-ending question of how life came to be. I don't have the answers on how life came to be. But I do have to find the answers of why the lives and things that I bring into the world, what do I need to do to try to direct them into health and happiness, right? These are things that are not promised to us in this place, in this space that we live in. These are things that we have to work for. These are things that we have to be willing to sacrifice for. These are things that we have to be willing to lose. People, things, places, memories for. You didn't endure all that trauma for nothing. Because while we talking about Saturn, while we talk about a discipline, Saturn also pays back. Okay, I said karma. Saturn also pays back. And if you've been double bad, you get a double batch. It pays back. Whatever you want to call it, retribution, karma, getting back what you put out, the golden rule, whatever you want to call it. This energy, this season that we're in, this is the season of retribution. So if you've been, trying to get yourself together, nobody is meant to be perfect, because how can you be perfect when everybody's experience is different? So what am I comparing myself to? They say that so if you believe in any type of religion, they give you something to compare yourself to. Christianity, what I know that they give you to compare yourself to is Jesus Christ and how Jesus Christ acted out in the world. And a lot of stuff that be going on, I feel like he wouldn't really be on it. He really wouldn't be having it. But then there are other religions that believe in other prophets and other people who they feel that they should model themselves after. But it's still their personal experience that you're learning from, so you still have to have an experience for yourself. We start losing ourselves. And that's why Saturn has to spin the block and remind you who you are. So it's not all bad. It's not all discipline when things start happening. They're not trying to discipline you because nobody's bigger than the program. It's not always just about the discipline. It's not always about the karma or retribution or, revenge. Really, a lot of us feel like, okay, you might not have done anything to anybody and somebody does something to you. A lot of y'all looking for revenge. And maybe the lesson is in the fact that you'll never get it. Hello, we have to learn to let things go. You're not getting an apology that you want. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting the acknowledgement that you want. So you're still holding on to this little thing, even though you feel like you're a good person and you didn't deserve what happened to you, and you are more than valid. Your feelings are valid. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that my feelings are valid. My feelings are valid. I know why I feel this way. Now, you may not like the place where I'm coming from, but that doesn't change the way that I feel. And that's okay. It's time for us to start lifting some of this weight off our shoulders. Okay? It's time for us to start lifting some of this weight off our shoulders, even if it means lifting the weight off of our bodies. We have to start making changes. Because if you get stuck in this chaotic realm of shaping and molding that you're going through now, because that's all it is shaping you and molding you for something greater. If you want it, of course. You don't have to take it. You are allowed to take any path that you want. We really do have free will. I believe that. You have free will to go do anything you want. But I believe if we use the experiences of our ancestors before us, that if we use the experiences of those who took a chance to do certain things before us and created something a blueprint, basically created a blueprint for something, that you can do anything. That you can really do anything. You can really overcome anything. You can change your whole identity. You can change your whole self. You do not have to become your experiences. You do not have to become the experiences of other people around you either. Just because somebody don't want to do what they used to ask us back in the day. Just because so-and-so go jump off a bridge, you gonna do it too? Sometimes people do. Because they're not making a correlation. They're not seeing the bigger picture. They're only seeing what they feel now, which most of the time is pain, is loneliness, is despair. It could even be shame. A lot of people acting crazy because they hiding something. You running around here acting crazy because this thing that you're struggling with is haunting you like a spooky ghost. I got small kids. But that thing that is like really haunting you and weighing on you is causing mental turmoil and the mental turmoil is playing out into your life, because everything that you think is going to happen will happen. Everything that you think, like everybody's like, well, why can't I just think of $1 million? Because that is not how money was formed. Money was formed through greed and mind. You know, that type of thing. That's a whole different tangent. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want my ADHD kicking in and we're going that way. But the idea of money came from greed. And then for the people, the brown people of the Americas, money came at a cost of the bodies and your worth. So a lot of times that's where we get materialism from, because baby, it all go back to slavery. Like let's just stop playing. Like when we talk about the experience of Black Americans, it all go back to, they always go take us straight back to slavery. That's why we always got the, you know, scientists online trying to say, no, we was indigenous to America. Probably some, for sure. No, we came from Egypt. No, this is how we got over here. However we got here, it doesn't matter. You Black American, you lit. But they're always going to associate your story with slavery. So everything in America always ends up going back to slavery and racism when it comes to Black people. And the reason why I just went here is because guess what this is also a part of? Saturn. Also, this Saturn retrograde is a part of an even bigger retrograde that's happened generationally, Pluto, which Pluto is bringing on. We just had the 250th birthday of America, which that retrograde and Pluto is bringing on the return for, because it's 250 years. It's America's birthday. And what did we say that Pluto return is going to bring? A fall of the empire. Do you see their leader right now? I don't know. But all of it all ties together. And you're like, what do any of this have to do with me? Everything. We're all connected. Everything. Even if it's not your personal experience, the way that you are perceived, the way that you will be not only perceived, but I don't even want to say treated, because everybody doesn't have the same experiences. But we all have had at least that one experience. So there are some things that tie us together energetically. So that's why we need to know these things that are going on. We can't just stay in the clouds all the time. You got to be grounded. You got to be aware of what's going on. You got to really tap in if you're going to feel it. Because you can't do anything about it if you don't really feel into it. You don't have the empathy for it. You don't have a sympathy for another person's situation who might be going through that. You just see the consequence of how they may be handling it. While you should also learn from that experience as well. We have to learn how to give each other grace during this time. We all are going through something. We all going through something. We shouldn't be standing around each other trying to struggle each other. Let's uplift one another and focus on that. So I'll say that Mercury retrograde is probably the most known retrograde. Because it happens the most. So once it happens and people are like sharing information about it, then we see it more often. These bigger planets, those are like generational planets, so they affect a whole collective. So that's why we're all feeling this like kind of like a chaotic shift in things because of Saturn retrograde. But the Mercury retrograde, it affects things on your day to day. So this is why we just notice kind of subtle changes, because things kind of come at you out the blue during the Mercury retrograde. It's not always something bad. It could be news that you've been waiting for too. It could be good news that you've been waiting on. It could be someone that you've been looking for. Maybe you've been looking for somebody and it's not somebody you look for on social media. Long lost family member, your old best friend, or whatever. Sometimes it brings you good information. Now, sometimes it does bring you that BS, because why is you in my DMs? You're just bored. Okay, not saying that I'm like, you know, ugly or anything like that, or like I don't got it going on, because I definitely feel like I got it going on. But why is you here? For real. Anyway, but that, and also traveling. Traveling during Mercury retrograde can be kind of like slow, a lot of accidents. Is because Mercury kind of deals with, I feel like when I think about the planet Mercury, I think about like telephone lines or something, you know, how energy is kind of like going really fast, telecommunication, stuff like that. That's what I think about when I think about Mercury. So imagine that type of energy working one way and then stopping and then starting backtracking a little bit. So that's why the words during Mercury retrograde is always remember, restore, rethink, reassess, reevaluate. Make sure we're going in the right direction. So, all of that's over though. We're kind of in the post-shadow phase of that right now. During this Mercury retrograde, it's like these placements, and I just know that this is what I'm supposed to do, or I'm just really that in tune with the fucking stars. But it's like I knew it was like something happened in my brain where like, oh my god, Mercury must be retrograding, has to be. There's no possible way that it's not, and of course it was. So even with the full moon, like I feel the need to do some type of spiritual work. And spiritual work could be anything, y'all. You know, don't let them demonize you for wanting to express yourself in a different way. There's nothing wrong with going outside and, you know, writing some things down that you need to let go of and burning paper. Running around calling everybody witches or being scared to engage with certain content. I'm not gonna stop making videos, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I'm like, is it something I said? Or I be feeling like sometimes people don't want to engage because they scared, because we just are raised in religious environments, and you don't want to be judged for viewing certain types of content. I get it too. But let me know something. Inbox me or something. My bad, I read messages. But so that's Mercury retrograde. But that energy, we're going into a post-shadow phase. So maybe expect a fews and twos here and there, but still watch out. Watch out now. I'll be so glad when August 1st get here. Ugh. July has just been like a woo firework. Literally. Goodness gracious. I'll be glad when they ban fireworks completely. I get so fed up with fireworks. So we talked about Mercury retrograde, full moon coming, full moon coming, full moon coming, full moon coming. And it's called a Buck Moon. So when you think about the full moon that you're going to see, I want you to think about growing new ideas. I want you to think, because a Buck Moon is called a Buck Moon because this is around the time that boy deers, because I don't know what I'm really supposed to call them, young bucks. This is when young bucks get their antlers. So it's an experience. Do you think that horns growing out of your head feel good? I don't think it do. I think it's beautiful to us because, oh, nature. But I think it's probably a painful experience for them because they finna like start getting antlers, and them heavy antlers that's finna grow out of their head. I feel like it's painful. They finna grow bones out their head, right? So take a lesson from that. Like, growth is painful. Growth can be painful. That's why they're called growing pains. You got to take the pain and grow from it, or it's gonna bury you.